Welcome back to another episode of Growing Up in the Wilds of Suburbia. I'm your host, Sir Chad Everett Broshears, and I decided today I'm going to do an episode on your complaints. Now, whether people believe it or not, the majority of complaints that people have, especially reoccurring complaints, even if the details about the complaint changes the context or the idea overall about the if the details about the complaint changes the context or the idea overall about the complaint, the reward validates them to some degree, gets them to have conversation pieces, topics, hell, even a skill set that they've acquired over time about navigating a complaint. And they continue to enroll people in how this complaint affects their life. And then on the other side of it is the people that see something that could be complained about, but instead of complaining, they start either working on it directly by themselves, or they'll collaborate with people they know that can help move along and develop their way out of the issue and the challenge, whatever it is. The key piece of this is, if you have a specific complaint and it continues to show up, let's say the complaint is in your dating life, which seems to be a very common one. Complaints in my dating life, excuse me, I never seem to meet the kind of person that I want to have in my life, and all I seem to do is be attracted to assholes, or I get attracted to, the female equivalent of an asshole, right? We'll just say, female assholes. Let's go with that. So, keep having these reoccurrences. You find that the person may not be attentive enough for you, or whatever it is. It's just this thing that always seems to show up. As hard as it is to hear, it's your fault. You are actually the center of it. You are the one that is the lowest common denominator. It's hard to hear. It directly goes against your victim ideas and ideologies. And it makes you say, you know what, this guy Chad's another asshole. I don't like hearing this. He's full of shit. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Who is he? What's his credentials? Why am I even listening to this guy? I'm going to thumbs down his video. Whatever. And that's also the fight. That's the argument to keep your issues in place. Because everybody has something that they do something for. And in this situation, you are arguing to keep your excuses. If that's what you want, then fine. Keep it. By all means. Build up more baggage. Carry it through your life. Drag dead wood around everywhere. The thing about dead wood is it actually doesn't move you any direction. It's good for kindling. It's good for fire. But usually that fire is just set underneath yourself, and then you wonder why other people are making progress in their life. The longer you spend bogged down by the emotional challenges that you have, the longer you stay on that emotional issue, and the reoccurrence of that emotional issue distracts you from other things that you could be thinking about. The things that you could be not only thinking about, but making progress in, simply because you have the psychological, the cognitive and emotional capacity to move forward. But if you're going to sit back and say, you know what, you just don't know what I'm going through. Yeah, probably right. You have some details about whatever you're going through that I don't understand. I'm certain of it, especially since I don't know you. If I do know you and you haven't shared it with me, I also won't know about it because you haven't shared it. So, now, I am not speaking to anyone individually at all. I'm speaking in overall to the species. It's us as human beings. This is what human beings do. So whenever I say we're just human being, or we're just being human beings, or we're just doing the human thing, that's what I'm referring to. So it's not something that say, well, he's talking about me, therefore I have a problem, he's got beef or something. Nothing like that. I see it all the damn time. I see that on my Facebook feeds, I see that on Instagram, I see it on all of my social medias that I actually participate with, and people take it personally. If it's triggering something in you, you found your work. Do something about it. If you don't do something about it, you will do something else. You're just going to enroll people in how bad it is for you, because very few people can just sit there stoically and not react to something and then carry that baggage with them for so long and not actually express it. It'll change your behavior one way or another. So either you convince people that they should treat you like a victim, or you convince people that you're going to make changes by showing them instead of saying it. It's up to you. Argue for your excuses so you can keep them, or argue for the change that you can create in your life. It's 100% your choice. What you do is you find people to help guide you out of the challenges. Like for myself, I find people that have put in enough work to get out of the things that I find myself in. But I also use the capacities and my faculties as much as I possibly can, to the depth that I possibly can, in order to get out of it myself. I have a high degree of independence. I also have a very high degree and trait of conscientiousness. But interestingly enough, also I have a pretty significant degree of trait of openness. If you're familiar with the psychological Big Five, then you'll know what I'm talking about here. If you're not, it's a very interesting topic in education piece, so worth looking into. If you really want to make change, figure out where you're arguing to keep your excuses. As an interesting thing happens whenever you realize where you've been arguing to keep your excuses. Once they're gone, your brain is a problem-solving machine. It will start looking for other things it can create solutions to that are challenges you're dealing with. Otherwise, it'll continue to find a way of staying in that sticky situation for whatever it is that's upset you. So it's all up to you. There's no savior coming for you, unless if you're in a religious conversation, then maybe you do have the ideas of a savior coming. But even in that, if you listen to the words of specific religious doctrine, you'll find that most of it tries to teach you to take it on yourself and to make changes yourself. So, all right, that's it for today's video. Greatly appreciate everyone that follows. If you like the video, leave a like. Also, leave a comment if you have anything to throw in. Share this video with people in your life, especially the people that you want to start a conversation with that the subject may break the ice on. Share the video with them and then start a conversation. Again, I don't come from the place that I'm absolutely right. I'm coming from the place that I've put in a lot of thought and a lot of work to make sure that I'm trying to create the greatest degree of insight and light, so that perhaps it'll give you different views so that you can take that into a movement towards changing your future. All right, that's it. I'm Sir Chad Everett Brochures. This is Growing Up in the Wilds of Suburbia. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to it. Making a powerful and impactful life, one that is fully lived, and one that is incredibly self-expressed, is incredibly satisfying. It's not easy. It gets sticky, but it is so incredibly rewarding. It's enriching. So stick with me. We'll make that life together. Catch you next time. See ya.